Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We are going to be talking about Kringle Candle, Ambered Apple, and Walnut. Now, this is one of the 6 new fragrances that will be available this Thursday, September 18th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is part of their Fall Reserve launch. If you've been watching my channel or any of the other fellow affiliates or ambassadors, then you will know that not only is the Reserve launch happening this Thursday, but that will be coinciding with their holiday or Christmas launch. There will also be 6 fragrances offered in that lineup. So stay tuned to the end of this video, you guys, because I will give you guys some idea of what to expect from me this week in terms of what candles I will be reviewing prior to the launch. You guys know, we're going to talk about this candle specifically because I feel like this is the one that a lot of people have interest in with the Reserve. But we'll talk about just kind of what my expectations are possibly for what might sell out, what might be lingering around for a while. But that will all be at the end of this video. Full disclosure, this candle was sent to me in PR by Kringle. You guys know if you've been with me any length of time, I'm always going to give it to you straight. Sometimes I have great experiences, sometimes I have meh experiences, and sometimes I have straight up bad experiences. And regardless of how a candle comes into my collection, I will share that with you. So let's go ahead and talk about this one. This is one of their standard 2-wick large tumblers in this kind of transparent black vessel that has become synonymous with the Kringle Reserve line. This was also the packaging that was initially used for a lot of their Halloween lineups prior to the Reserve line being launched a couple of years ago. There is 22 ounces of 100% white soy wax in this candle. It will retail for $34. Fragrance notes on this candle are listed as top notes of sweet apple, peach, caramel, mid note, praline, coffee, walnut, base notes of buttered woods, whipped mocha, brown sugar, and amber. This specific candle that I am reviewing has a pour date of May 29th, 2025. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about what this candle smells like. So if you caught my cold sniff video that I did, a little over a week ago now, I had mentioned that this candle to me is very apple forward. It's very much a tart, crisp, kind of like a Granny Smith type of apple. Definitely what you are picturing here on the label is what my nose is smelling. Pretty much all of those elements right there that you are looking at is what my nose smells like. This to me is very much an elevated take on a caramel apple fragrance. I had mentioned in that cold sniff video that this is not Bath and Body Works Cider Lane. This is not Homeworks' take on caramel apple. This is not Caramel Sunday's Fall Cider. This is a very different take on a caramel apple scent in that all of those other fragrances that I just mentioned to my nose is definitely more a caramel forward fragrance with the apple kind of balanced out or maybe in the background. Whereas to me, this fragrance smells like freshly cut, tart Granny Smith apples, and you have taken them and dipped them in like a homemade caramel, and then you went ahead and dipped them in some walnuts. It's good, you guys. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a very good fragrance. Will I be honest and say, do I still love, Cider Lane and caramel apple from Homeworks and fall cider from Caramel Sundays? Yes. I actually love both of these fragrances. I've actually been burning them complementary to each other. So as I've been burning this candle, I've been burning Caramel Sundays fall cider in another room. But they are 2 distinctly different fragrances. So if you've been wondering, hey, I already have one of those other candles in my collection. Do I need this one? Is it different enough? Yes, it is different. It's going to be up to you to determine if you want to purchase this one, if you want to add it to your collection. But to me, I definitely pick up on, just like I said, a very tart Granny Smith apple, but you do get the elements of caramel in there. And I will say the caramel in here, unlike some of the other caramel apple candles that I have just referenced, those to me are more, and I don't mean this as a slight, they are more artificial caramel. They're like those little caramel squares that you can get and then you melt them. They're a little bit more like cheap caramel, I guess you would say, whereas this to me smells like authentic, made from scratch caramel. It's not scorched, which I'm very happy to report on, because sometimes, particularly with Kringle, I'm going to be honest with you, their caramel notes sometimes don't hit my nose right. And then I think what's balancing it out here for me is probably, even though I wouldn't say that to my nose, I really detect peach in this fragrance. Like, I can only really say that it's there because it's written in the fragrance notes, but I do think that the peach note in here maybe lends a little bit more sweetness to what is traditionally a very tart apple. And then they have mid notes of praline and walnut, which, of course, you guys, sometimes nutty notes, again, with Kringle, especially when they have been mixed with a caramel note, sometimes come across scorched, or it just doesn't hit my nose right. There was a walnut note listed in the Trick or Treat candle, and the walnut mixed with chocolate, my nose did not like. But the walnut mixed with the caramel note in here is actually, it's well done for me personally. So if you're somebody who shares similar fragrance preferences as I do, I will tell you that there's nothing odd or weird coming off about this candle, whereas that has not always been my experience when Kringle has done any kind of like nutty note. You guys know I didn't love the praline buttercream last year. I liked it on cold, did not like it upon burn. So this one is really good. As far as those coffee or whipped mocha notes, I'm not getting anything like that. The amber in the base note, we all know Kringle has had a love affair with amber, particularly for this Reserve launch. The amber in here, I think, does lend slight, and I'm just going to say slight element of perfuminess. Honestly, you guys, I think it's there probably to maybe increase the fragrance's projection, because otherwise this is, it's just kind of it's a gourmand fragrance, but that amber note in there lends some warmth, but extra perfuminess and projection for this candle. Brown sugar in the base, but then once again, it's not coming off too scorched. This one, to be honest with you guys, this fragrance made me a little bit nervous when I initially saw the fragrance notes, because I was like, oh, this holds so much promise. But there's some notes that sometimes when Kringle has done them in the past, the caramel, the praline, the walnut, the brown sugar, sometimes those notes have come across scorched to my nose upon burn. But I'm very happy to report that that is not what is happening here. Overall, you guys, this reminds me a lot of, I mentioned this, I think, in the cold sniffs, when sometimes I will be at Costco of all places, and they will have like a candied apple stand or display set up. This fragrance reminds me of walking by that stand, and they are like kind of like freshly cutting off like the edges of the apples there, and then they're dipping it in the caramel and the nuts. It's a very, very authentic take. Fresh take. I feel like, not fresh as in like perfumey or cologne, but just like you're making a caramel apple very fresh with authentic ingredients. That's what this candle smells like to me. Overall, really nice fragrance. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance on this one. So far, I'm having pretty good performance. I've burned this about halfway. You can see that the wicks are doing quite well. I have been trimming them after each burn. I'm going to go ahead and try to turn the candle here so you can see where I'm at on the burn. So see, I'm about halfway through. The wicks do get a little bit, they do get a little bit hot, I would say. I'm not noticing any kind of excessive soot. I've had this candle burning now for about 4.5 hours at this point, so I'll be extinguishing it after this one. But I have been trimming the wicks after each burn before I relight it. That's going to drive me crazy because it's a little bit off center now. Strength and throw on this one, you guys, I'm going to give it about a 7 without a hurricane. It's definitely detectable in my open concept. I don't find that it throws all the way into the kitchen or to the like the doorways of the bedrooms or anything like that. But it is definitely noticeable when I walk into the room. When I walk into my living room, I can notice it, especially like walking in from the garage door or from the front door. I'm typically burning this candle on the opposite end of the room, and I do smell it. It's nice. Truthfully, you guys, I feel like if this one were super strong, I think that it would be cloying, to be honest with you guys. So I actually find that the strength and throw on this one is actually perfect for my tastes, because any stronger, and I think that it would just be too much. So to me, it's a 7. I prefer burning this one out in the open concept. I did try burning it in the closed concept master bedroom. And to be honest with you guys, I found it to be a little bit too much in there. So that's why I have preferred burning it out in the open concept. Maybe it could throw a little bit better, but in terms of the strength, I think that it is just right for me personally. So if you are familiar with my channel, if you're familiar with the layout of my home, which I always have in the description box down below, if you are new and you're unfamiliar with it, that is how this candle has been performing for me. Overall, you guys, I'm going to give this one 2 thumbs up. If this has interested you, if you are interested in this candle for the launch, it does get my stamp of approval. The thing I will say is that I don't think that this reserve launch, if there is a risk of a sellout, I do think that it would be this candle, because I think just at quick glance, this is the obvious gourmand. Now, I will tell you that the pumpkin oud fragrance is also kind of a pumpkin gourmand. It's not a gourmand in terms of like a bakery, but it's definitely a spiced pumpkin type of fragrance. I will have a dedicated review on that one prior to the launch as well. If you watched my cold sniff video, you know that the pumpkin oud and the ambered apple and walnut were my favorites. And spoiler alert, they still are from this launch. They are the 2 that I am actually going to stand by a recommendation for. Might give you a little bit of a preview for how that pumpkin oud one is going to go. But yeah, I would say that this one is probably, if there is going to be any risk of a sellout, it might be this one. But overall, you guys, if I feel like it's a unique fragrance. It definitely stands out from the other caramel apple fragrances that I have tried before. But also, I will say this, that I'm not clamoring to buy a backup. I won't be buying a backup of it. I'm going to enjoy it for what it is right now. But I don't find myself needing another one. I think my own personal fragrance preferences, I still prefer fall cider from Caramel Sundays probably the most when it comes to a caramel apple fragrance. But I do think that this one is very well done. And truthfully, if they had not sent it to me in PR, I still would have purchased it just out of curiosity. And so I'm glad that I was able to try it. I'll finish burning it. Like I said, it pairs well with some other candles that I currently have in my collection. So overall this week, you guys, I will be doing some post-burn reviews on, I will have a post-burn review on pumpkin oud. It looks like I'll also have a review on fog and embers for you guys, but I did want to let you guys know the other 3 fragrances I will not be doing dedicated post-burn reviews on. I will have another video. I'm planning to do another video this week, just kind of giving an overview of, it's not necessarily my candle declutter, but just giving you an overview of fragrances that are just not really in my wheelhouse, and I'll talk about them more at that time. But did want to give you that that heads up. It does also look like, if you happen to have caught my the Christmas collection video, Cold Sniff, it also does look like I will be able to do a dedicated post-burn review on the Kringle cupcake. So I will try to have that done for you guys prior to the launch. So if you're interested in shopping the launch, I do have an affiliate discount code with Kringle. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your purchase with them. But again, you guys, feel free to stick around for more reviews. I know that a lot of other ambassadors have gotten this candle, and so I'm sure they will be sharing their thoughts, and maybe they might have some extra insight that I have not provided in this video. But these are just my thoughts, and if you've found that my reviews have been pretty helpful with your purchasing decisions, here you go. So anyways, you guys, please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Feel free to leave a comment down below if this is one that is on your wish list, or if you are intrigued by it. I'd be curious to know. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you are new to my channel and you enjoy candle content. I do want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.